You've probably heard of Peter Thiel's 0 to 1, but it's way more than just a business book. Think of it as a blueprint for actually building the future. We're going to break down the core argument, and it all kicks off with one really challenging question.
So Thiel's entire philosophy is basically built on challenging what everyone else thinks is true. And he boils it all down to this one single question. And it sounds simple, but trust me, it's not. It's the question he asks every single person he's thinking of hiring.
So here it is. Take a second and really think about this for yourself. What important truth do very few people agree with you on? It's tough, right? It's way harder than it sounds.
Okay, so what did you come up with? If you said something like, our educational system is broken, well, that's actually what Thiel would call a bad answer. Not because it's wrong. A lot of people agree with that. See, the point isn't to just pick a side in some popular debate. A really good answer is a truth that almost nobody else is even talking about yet.
So why all the fuss about this one question? Because the future isn't just, tomorrow. A real future, the kind we should be trying to build, is one where the world looks fundamentally different from today. And those weird, unpopular, contrarian truths, well, those are the blueprints. They're the starting point for building that different world.
All right, so if we're going to build this different future, we have to get something straight first. Not all progress is created equal. Thiel says it really only comes in two distinct flavors.
You've got horizontal progress and you've got vertical progress. Horizontal is pretty easy to picture. It's just copying things that already work, scaling up, going from 1 to n, as the book puts it. But vertical progress, that's different. That's doing something brand new, creating something that didn't exist before. That's going from 0 to 1.
There's a single word for this horizontal 1 to n progress: globalization. It's just taking something that works in one place and making it work everywhere. China's economic boom is a perfect real-world example of this. They got really good at copying and scaling things that were already proven. It's like if you have one typewriter and you build 100 more just like it. That's globalization.
And the word for that vertical 0 to 1 progress, that's technology. And listen, this is super important. Technology doesn't just mean iPhones and computers. It means any new and better way of doing things. So sticking with the typewriter example, building 100 more is horizontal progress, but inventing the word processor to replace the typewriter, that is technology.
Okay, so we've got these two big forces shaping our world: globalization, which is copying, and technology, which is creating. So which one is more important for our future? This, right here, is where we get back to the answer to that first big question.
So what's Thiel's own contrarian truth? It's this. Most people think the future of the world will be defined by globalization. But the truth is, technology matters more. He argues that the future isn't about just spreading the old stuff around. It's about inventing brand new stuff.
And you might be thinking, okay, so what? Why is it such a big deal? Well, because the stakes are huge. According to Thiel, just copying our current way of doing things and spreading it everywhere, that's a recipe for disaster. For devastation, not riches.
Let's make this super concrete. Imagine if countries like India and China suddenly started consuming resources at the same rate as the United States, but using only the technology we have right now. The environmental strain would be absolutely catastrophic. Globalization without new technology is totally unsustainable.
You can actually see this play out in history. If you look back, there have been different periods. For a while, we had tons of new tech and globalization. Then for a while, just tech. But look at the last 50 years or so. What have we seen? A whole lot of globalization, but groundbreaking technology has been kind of limited, right? Mostly to computers and the internet. In a lot of ways, we've been copying more than we've been creating.
Okay, so if we've established that new technology is the key, that we really need it for a better future, where does it come from? What's the engine that actually drives this 0 to 1 innovation?
The answer, according to Thiel, is startups. Not the giant established corporations. And it's not the lone genius tinkering away in a garage either. It's small, focused teams of people. They are the real engine of innovation.
And why startups? Well, they're kind of in this sweet spot. They're small enough to be fast and nimble, to avoid all the red tape and bureaucracy that crushes new ideas inside a huge company. But they're also big enough to actually get stuff done, to have the manpower that a single person just doesn't. This agile structure is the perfect environment to question everything and build from scratch.
All right, we've talked about the what and the why. So let's wrap this up by talking about how this all comes together and what it means for you.
I love this definition from the book. A startup isn't just a company. It's the largest group of people you can convince of a plan to build a different future. Think about that. At its core, innovation isn't just about code or engineering.
It's about convincing people to believe in a better future and to help you build it.
And this is maybe the most important takeaway of all. We can't just sit back and assume progress will happen automatically. Our parents and grandparents thought we'd have flying cars and moon vacations by now. Well, where are they? That future didn't just show up on its own. Progress is not inevitable. It only happens because people decide to make it happen.
So that brings everything right back to the beginning and right back to you. The world doesn't just get better by itself. It's built, piece by people who have a contrarian idea and decide to go from 0 to 1. So the question I want to leave you with is a simple one. What new future are you going to build?